I kill 60% of my inbound leads before I ever open a code editor. Not because they're bad people, because they cost me a build hour I don't have. If you're a one-person operator, drowning in discovery calls and half-formed client requests, this is the layer nobody's teaching you. Every Claude Code course shows you how to build. I'll show you the pre-built pipeline that decides what's worth building at all. By the end, you'll have the exact folder structure, the qualification prompt, and the scoping prompt I run daily. I'm Lazar. I run 3 live products solo. This is the only reason that math works. Let's start with the folder no one shows you. Here's the problem nobody names. You're a one-person shop. Leads come in through a form, a referral, a cold reply. Each one sounds like it could be money. So you jump on a call. 40 minutes later, you hang up and realize the budget is a third of what the scope needs. The timeline is impossible, and the person you talk to can't actually sign anything. Multiply that by 20 conversations a month, and you've burned a full work week on nothing. That's the real bottleneck of a one-person AI business. Not building. Qualifying. Most Claude Code tutorials skip this entirely. They open with a fresh repo. They build a to-do app. They show you MCP servers, and they end with hit subscribe. That's the easy 20%. The 80% that decides whether you survive as a solo operator is the layer before the repo exists. What you take on. What you refuse. What you scope before you touch code. That's what I'm walking you through. The pipeline lives in 3 folders. Just 3. Inbound, qualify, scope. Each does one job. Inbound is a dumping ground. Every raw email, every form submission, every voice note transcript from a referral call goes in as a dated markdown file. The reason it's separated is trust. If I know every lead is preserved raw, I can be brutal in the next stage without worrying I'm losing something. Qualify is where Claude Code earns its keep. I have a single file called qualify.md that contains the qualification prompt and 5 disqualifying signals. Signal 1, budget shape. Not the number, the shape. Do they talk in ranges? Do they mention ROI? Or do they ask what things cost? Vague budget language is a kill flag. Signal 2, timeline. If they need it in 2 weeks and it's a 3-month build, kill. If they have no timeline at all, that's worse. Signal 3, tech debt. Are they replacing something, integrating with something, or starting clean? Replace and integrate, need a discovery deposit, or I don't touch it. Signal 4, decision maker. Am I talking to the person who signs, or a middle layer? Middle layer gets one polite email asking to loop in the signer. No response, kill. Signal 5, scope drift. Does the request change between the first paragraph and the last paragraph of their message? If it does, they don't know what they want yet, and I'm not the person who's going to figure it out for free. I drop the raw inbound file into Claude Code and run it against qualify.md. Claude reads the 5 signals, flags which one's triggered, and returns a go, hold, or kill verdict with 1 paragraph of reasoning. That's it. No dashboard, no CRM, no Zapier chain. A markdown file and a prompt. About 60% get killed at this stage. Killed doesn't mean ghosted. It means a templated polite decline that takes 30 seconds to send. The other 40% move to scope. Scope is where the raw email becomes a 1-page brief. I have a scope.md prompt that tells Claude Code to extract 5 things. The core outcome the client actually wants, not the feature they asked for. The 3 to 5 milestones that get them there. The risks I'm carrying, technical and human. A fixed price range with a confidence note. And the one question I need answered before I quote firm. That last one is important. Claude Code doesn't pretend to know everything. It surfaces the gap. Let me walk you through a real one, anonymized. Inbound email comes in. Small services business wants an AI assistant that handles their email and books calls. Sounds simple, right? I drop it into qualify.md. Claude flags two signals. Budget shape is vague. They use the phrase, whatever it takes, which sounds like a green light and is actually a kill flag because it means they haven't priced the problem. And decision maker is unclear. The email is from an office manager. Verdict, hold. Not kill. I send back two questions. What's the monthly cost of the current process, and who signs off on new tools? They answer both cleanly. Now I run scope.md. Claude produces a one-page brief. Core outcome: cut inbox time by 70%. 3 milestones: triage rules, draft replies, calendar handoff. Risk: their calendar is a shared Google workspace with permission quirks. Fixed range, quoted with a confidence note. Open question: whether they're locked into their current CRM. Total time from inbound email to scoped brief, under 4 minutes. Here's the piece that ties it all together, and the part I want you to actually copy. The scoped brief doesn't die in a folder. It becomes the seed of the claude.md file for the build repo. The core outcome becomes the project mission. The milestones become the task breakdown. The risks become the guardrails section. The open question becomes the first thing I resolve on the kickoff call. Nothing gets lost between sales and build because the sales artifact is the build artifact. That's the whole trick. Real numbers on my end. Roughly 40 inbound leads a week. Roughly 24 get killed at qualify. That's the 60%. The remaining 16 get scoped in under 4 minutes each, so about an hour of my time total instead of 16 hours of discovery calls. That's 12 to 15 hours a week back. That's the reason I can run 3 live products alone. Not because I code faster, because I refuse to build for the wrong leads. One thing to be honest about: this pipeline doesn't replace judgment, it concentrates it. The kills are still my call. The scopes still need my review. And Claude Code sometimes flags a signal that isn't really there. I override maybe 1 in 10, but going from raw email to a defensible go, hold, or kill in under 4 minutes changed what a one-person business feels like to run. If you want to see the kind of intake and automation layers we actually ship for clients, they're at BizflowAI.io. Subscribe and hit the bell so the next breakdown, the one on the claude.md handoff file, lands in your feed. And if you've got a workflow eating your week and you want it built for you instead of by you, book a free 30-minute discovery call at BizflowAI. I'll tell you straight whether it's worth automating.